Hey guys, I'm Rob Hodges, and I am joined here with Charlie Jewett, Theo Roberto, and Bobby Taylor. We're all going to be talking to you just for a few minutes today. I want to thank you for taking time to actually open up this webinar link and hear a little bit more about us before we actually do some initial follow-up with you. And so we're going to run through just a quick presentation to kind of give an overview of our company and why we're so excited about it. And we'll get some feedback from the four different panelists of us here today. We're all trainers with CalChoice Financial. We have a lot of different trainers throughout our company. We're all across the country. And I know that we're in uncertain times right now. And I don't know how you got this webinar, if it was somebody that you knew, if you answered an ad, maybe you're on Indeed or Monster.com, someplace because you've been displaced, or maybe you're just dissatisfied with what you're doing already and looking for a career change. So we'd like to be able to fill that void for you, but first we want to tell you a little bit about ourselves, and you'll see here CalChoice Financial. We're with you all the way, and we do not take that lightly. We are a very rapidly growing company. We're a math-based company when it comes to the financial products that we put forth, and we do things very differently than the rest of the industry. So if you don't have any background in financial services, please don't be scared off. Some people go, I don't know anything about that. Oh, sounds like sales, sounds scary. None of us four came from financial services. I think we all kind of ended up here by accident. My background was I grew up in a restaurant. My parents owned a restaurant. My brothers and I worked there, and that really was all I knew. I don't have a college degree, and I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and some of you might be in that situation today. That's what it takes for some people to really make a change. That's what it took for me. And I got into this business back in 1988, and almost crazy to say it's been 31 years now. And took me about a year to work myself into a full-time position, and I've never looked back. And it is an amazing industry that we're part of. What we're going to cover quickly today is why now, problems that we solve as a company. We'll give you a couple examples, what we do, how we do it, and give you proof of concept. And then ultimately, probably the main reason all of you are here is, what's in it for you? And we'll hit on some of those things as we go through here. And so financial services, my opinion, and I think the rest of the panel will agree to this, is it's an amazing career choice. Number one, it has an easy, affordable point of entry. There is no prior experience required, thank goodness, because I didn't have any. No experience in sales, no experience in financial services. My goodness, I even hated math, but had a great mentor that helped me through that process, got my legs under me, and I was able to move forward. It's a level playing field. We don't care where you come from, what you look like, what race you are, what gender you are. It doesn't matter. It's a level playing field across the board. It's inflation proof, recession proof, and we kind of added there for our current times, COVID-19 proof. And guys, that's not a joke. This industry weathers all storms. And I can tell you as a company, we've seen production numbers go up. We've seen new agents, advisors coming to our company, those numbers going up. And man, with 20 million people now on unemployment and futures uncertain, it's a great place to be. You have the ability to work your hours from anywhere you want. It's always in style. Money's not a fad. And what we've experienced is it's always in style, and it has a very high income potential. I'm going to quote J. Paul Getty. Some of you may have heard that name. Some of you are too young for that. I'm dating myself a little bit. He passed away back in 1976, but he was the wealthiest person of his generation. And he said the number one guideline to success is you must own a business for yourself. When you work for someone else, you sell your time wholesale to your employer, then he or she resells it to the retail customer. Charlie, I want you to touch on this here for a minute, because you have a very interesting dynamics on how you look at people that say they're quote unquote self-employed, and you feel like everybody's self-employed. Would you talk about that for just a minute?
Yeah, I do kind of feel like everybody's self-employed, and the act of taking on A job or accepting to work for one company only is kind of saying, I'm self-employed, I'm in the business of XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever you do, build things or reception or manage. I'm in that business and I've chosen to just have one customer and devote all my time to them. And that creates not just a customer, but what we call a boss. Now, I'm in financial services because I wanted time freedom and I didn't want to have a boss. If you said I could have a deep relationship with a boss or a serial killer, I might pick the serial killer. I really don't want to have the boss. I like the freedom. I like the time freedom. I don't want to ask permission to go on vacation or to take my income up another $100,000 a year. I want to go make it happen. But everybody is without slavery. You are free. Just if you're in a job, you've chosen a vehicle that can't do the things you want it to do. Everybody we've interviewed, Rob, what do you really want your income source to be like? Limited or unlimited? Unlimited. Time freedom or no. Basically, everybody rules out the job, the one customer model, and they would prefer to own something. The tax benefits are pretty awesome too if you leave that W-2 job model and earn your income some other way. But we can take people from A to Z and teach them that all day long.
Right. And share just quickly your background, Charlie. I know you've been doing this about 17 years, but you didn't really have the background to get into financial services, and you had tremendous success right out of the gate, right? With no history, no background. Just share quickly kind of where you came from.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was a teacher, so everybody in my family is pretty much a teacher. So I used to own a company called UnixTrainer.com, and I would travel the country teaching Unix, which was fun for my mom because all the friends would ask her, "What does Charlie do?" I'm like, "Oh, he teaches Unix." They're like, "What? Those soprano men that sing that have been neutered?" No, not those. UNIX, the operating system. So that was always fun. So I taught Unix, traveled the country, ended up building a team of about 20 other teachers, and I was just brokering them out. Then I got into real estate here in San Diego, California. Realized I didn't like working Friday nights and weekends only to fill out contracts while waiting to go to parties, and said, well, I like the numbers part of it. Let me do some mortgages. Got into training mortgage advisors, and bumped into these tax-free retirement planning strategies that any good mortgage advisor really should know about if you want to be comprehensive and do its best. I learned the tax-free retirement piece that you guys teach so well, and I just fell in love, Rob. I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. And took a 52-hour training program, which is pretty high. I think California's got a higher requirement than a lot of states, right?
Yeah.
It was a pretty big commitment, but not a monster commitment. I took a 52-hour class, passed the test. I went out and did what my mentor told me. I was on split cases, making 34% of the commission, and had a mentor, and was like, tell me what to do, buddy. Do this, run this ad, stand up and say this thing. I went out and did that, and 12 months later, I'd made about $450,000 as a rookie. So, I mean, what do I tell people? It's not easy. It's a communicator's business. It's an influence business. You have to be able to get someone to do something. Read this book, watch this video, respond to this ad, talk to my friend who's a stud, whatever. You have to be able to get them to do something. If you don't like influencing people to take any action, you probably wouldn't enjoy the business. But for those of us that are comfortable blessing others, man, go do that on a big scale, and 6-7 figures is available to everybody.
So you say sometimes that when we say anybody can do this business or everybody can do this business, you say, well, no, that's not necessarily true. You've got to want to do something different, right?
And well, yeah. Picture Laverne and Shirley sticking the chocolates in the boxes. If they were armless, that'd be hard, right? Nobody wants them picking up chocolates with their mouth and spitting them into the boxes, and they'd probably back up even worse than the beginning of Laverne and Shirley. It's like, you gotta have the minimum requirements. A tongue. No, I guess you could do this. I guess you could do it even if you were impaired in any way. But the one thing that you have to have is the desire to share really helpful information with other people. Like if I said, stand on the street and give away $5 bills and watch people smile. And you're like, well, I don't like interacting with other humans. Okay, don't be in marketing or sales. It's just not, you wouldn't enjoy it. But if you can give free stuff away or give things of benefit away or ask questions like, if you could have 30% more retirement income and lower fees, would you like to know about it? Okay, read a book. If you can do the basics, you've heard me say it. No one ever has to get past A. You don't even have to get from A to B. Just do a whole lot of A and hand B, C, and D off to other people that like it, and you can make 6 or 7 figures. Some people shouldn't learn more. They should just stick to what they're good at. But some people learn the whole thing and become black belts, and they're awesome.
Right. So Charlie and I, folks, just those of you that are watching, we both come from very simple backgrounds, and I'm a very simple person, but I'm going to pivot here really quickly because we want to talk to a bunch of different demographics of people, both age and maybe education wise, et cetera, and what they've done. Theo, you're an engineer, and I think
It feels
before that,
complicated. We're simple. It
yeah,
feels complicated.
yeah,
Too complicated.
well, you were like a molecular biologist or something like that before you were an engineer?
Yeah, well, that's why I graduated college with molecular biology degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've now been in financial services for 17 years. Why? I mean, why would you spend all of that time and energy going to school, getting those degrees? And I know you had a great job. You were living in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. And why did you get into financial services after all of that?
Yeah, well, when I graduated college, I mean, I worked as a biologist for a year, then a chemist for a couple of years. And I kind of stumbled into network engineering. That's what I did for the majority of my career for about, 15 years, I believe. And I got into the financial service industry because I was in debt. Even though I made good money, I was still in debt and I need to earn extra income on the side. So I was introduced by my parents actually that said, hey, why don't you work with us part-time and be able to earn the money to get out of your debt? And so that's what I did. And well, I never imagined I was going to go into the financial service industry. I didn't wake up one morning and said, yes, I'm going to be a financial advisor. It's the best thing in the world. But once I got into it, I realized how much difference I could make in people's lives and how I could change it for the better, and actually help that family and their family from generational by giving them the right advice in order to get their finances in order. So I fell in love with it and saw how the potential, and that's why I'm still in it now, about 17 years later.
Awesome. And so we've got a molecular biologist, we've got a teacher, and we've got a fry cook. Now let's pivot to Bob Taylor, and you are like the entrepreneur, right? I think you've been an entrepreneur since you came out of the womb, but you've done several different things. What landed you in financial services that you thought, this is it, this checks all the boxes for me, and I don't want to do anything else but this business?
So it's a great question. So I yes, I've been an entrepreneur the majority of my lifetime, and I owned a mortgage company and a real estate company, and it was a multi-million-dollar operation here in Northern California. And I really didn't have an exit strategy, truthfully. And so I was still on the left side of the quadrant in many respects, the cash flow quadrant, right? The employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. I was a business owner, but it would flicker back and forth between self-employed and business owner. And then as the economy started to turn, I think it definitely kind of shifted a little bit more towards self-employed. And I was looking for an exit strategy. I knew that I needed additional income streams that I didn't have at the time. I met somebody that introduced me to the industry, and they made a really perceptive point to me, which was, look, you're in this business, you're already talking to people about money, you're talking to them about their assets, their income, and everything else. If we could teach you how to ask another 5 or 6 questions over and above what you're asking right now, and we could increase your income 5 to 10 times what you're making now, is that something that would be interesting to you? Well, as you can imagine, that caught my attention. And I looked at the financial services industry. I got involved just a few years before 2008. I've been in the industry now almost 16 years. And I can tell you that it's been transformational for me because it is recession proof, as you talked about before. So even when a lot of other industries are suffering, the financial services industry is still booming, and it also feeds the other businesses that we're involved in. And so it's a win-win for everyone. We're having a great time. And again, I didn't know anything about it when I first got involved, but I met somebody that was willing to teach me and work side by side to help me to be successful. And here we are today, we're having a blast, and only way is straight up at this point.
Yep, there you go. All right, so let's talk about a little bit more about what we do. And business ownership, that to me is paramount. And if we go back to J. Paul Getty and what he said, for me, this was everything. I wanted to create a business that would allow me to do whatever I wanted to do, wherever I wanted to do it. And I can tell you that financial services has allowed me to do that. Private reserve account, we're not going to go into detail with this, but I will tell you this is the most amazing financial product in the industry, and it's proprietary to our company. Can't wait to share that with you. Land banking, here's a scenario where we have a lot of people that just specialize in this. I mean, Theo, you came to our company about a year ago, not quite, yeah, just right at a year ago. And this is a product that you didn't have with the other financial services company you worked with. And you made $100,000 out of the gate from April to December just doing our proprietary land banking strategy. Is that true?
Yes.
And completely kind of changed your business practice by being able to add this other piece into it. But here's the thing, guys. You can start earning income immediately tomorrow with our land banking strategy. There's no license required. There's no training required. It's just having enough influence with somebody for them to say, yeah, I'd like to hear about owning land without having to write a check. How do you do that? And so that's a stream of income that we create for our people that work with us. We show families how to eliminate market loss. And some people go, well, what does that even mean exactly? Well, if you've been invested in the typical places people save money, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, you've seen some market loss in the last couple months. And if you stomached through 2008 and 2000 through 2001, you've seen market loss. We teach our clients how to eliminate it completely, which is a great thing. We have lifetime income solutions. We show people how to become tax-free in retirement. Think about that, right? Do you think taxes might be going up in the future? Or are you one of those people that think they're going to go down? I don't meet too many, if any, of those. I don't care where taxes are going to be in the future. My family's tax-free, and that's what we teach people how to do that. Multiple streams of income, and really creates generational wealth. Did you know, here's some facts and figures, let's run through these really quickly, that 1 in 3 Americans has no money saved for retirement, that the average median household income in this country in retirement is less than $44,000. Did people set out to only make $44,000 in retirement? Or did they have these lofty goals, going to be traveling the world, babe, we're going to go spend time with the grandkids, all that good stuff. And then what happens? Life happens. And we have people retiring broke at age 65, 67, 70. 76% of baby boomers, that's my generation. I'm the second youngest baby boomer. I was born in 1963. There's one age group below me. 76% of those people are not confident they've saved enough for retirement. And check this out, their kids, I have 2 millennials. They're not on this stat here, but millennials have less wealth than their parents did at their age. Guys, we have a generational problem. Retirees are broke. Baby boomers aren't saving enough money, and millennials are doing worse than any of the other two. We have solutions for every age group, for every demographics. And we're going to mentor you and teach you how to navigate through this financial disaster that most families are in. Are we in the middle of a financial crisis? I don't know. What do you think? I think we're in the greatest financial crisis in the history of the world right now. Just look at everything that's going on around us. And we've discovered there's 2 reasons that people fail to succeed financially. And guys, this includes what we choose for our career, and it also includes how we grow our dollars. And it is, we don't have enough income to save enough money, and we procrastinate decisions that we know we should take care of today. Now, this is a great slide. I love this. In this slide, we're going to ask some really provocative questions right here. What about you? Are you where you want to be in life right now? How many of you honestly can say, yep, I'm where I want to be? I doubt it, or you wouldn't be watching this video right now. What would you change if you could? Will you look back 10 years from now wishing you had taken action? And really, this was a big one for me. How dissatisfied do you need to be before you take action? And I guess the next question would be, are you there yet? So Charlie, when you're talking to people throughout the country, because you're introducing a lot of people, I think you have like 7 or 8 states that you're working with people right now. What do you talk to them about as far as how everything can change in a relatively short period of time if they'll just get engaged in an industry like financial services?
Yeah, well, first I talk about the vehicle. You just can't go 200 miles an hour in a Yugo or a Corolla. It doesn't have the capability. You've got to first position yourself in something that could actually accomplish your goals. And you and I have done some work on this, kind of designing the perfect business and what are the 25 things people would want out of it. And financial services checks every box. Franchises don't, jobs don't, being an investor doesn't, the gig economy doesn't, and they all have their place in the world. But what people really want is just amazing income and time freedom, I believe. And you've heard me say it. I know Rob works 900,000 hours a week. I'd say I haven't worked a full-time week in financial services in 4 or 5 years. It's a part-time thing that I know how to do, that I enjoy passionately, and I do different things now. But what I tell people is get into something with really high income potential where the norm, if you're doing your job, is 6 figures. If you're helping somebody each week, you should be making 6 figures. But more importantly, far more importantly, Tony Robbins' number one technique of everything he teaches, he says, if you were only to do one thing of everything that he's learned his entire career, it's surround yourself with people that have accomplished what you want to accomplish and model. Just take a shortcut, man. None of us figured it out on our own. We all had mentors. We all had partners that we paid, split commissions and partnered with. How do you become a great carpenter? Hang out with a carpenter and build a lot of cabinets and houses and stuff, right? How do you become great at anything? Hang out with somebody who's already great at it. We're 4 of the many, but people would be learning from all 4 of us. Like, jump in, go, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and let's go from A to B, and then we'll go from B to C, and eventually you're a black belt, and you're like, what? Just like the rest of us. Or you look back at your annual income and go, what in the world? How did I make that as a rookie?
Yeah, amazing stuff. So guys, I hope that this slide provoked you like we intended it to, because those are real questions we should be asking ourselves if we really truly are trying to accomplish great things. So Bob Taylor, this slide right here talks about kind of a typical client, and I'm actually going to let you run through this really quickly, and I'll advance the slide for you. I'd like you to cover this page right here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a couple that we met with. They are 43 years old, and the plan is to retire at 65. We're often asked the question, what do we do for clients and what sets us apart from the rest of the industry? There's a common phrase called out of the box thinking, and we don't even know who created the box, but we don't believe in it at all. And we believe in math-based planning, and we just look at math. That's all we do. And so they were planning to retire at 65 after maxing out their 401k, because their advice that they're getting is the radio and the television gurus are saying that's what you should do. By the way, that's probably what your mom and dad said you should do as well. Get a good education and then get a job that has a 401k that provides a match. I remember hearing that as well. So there's actually a strategic balance target that you want to have in a 401k, and a lot of people don't understand that. But it has to do with the impact of taxes on your retirement accounts. And so we teach that, and it's all just math. So prior to meeting us, they were on track. Their Social Security income would end up being taxed. Of course, they didn't even realize that it felt like a tax when it was coming out of the check, and now you got to pay tax on it again when you receive it, interestingly enough. But we were able to put them in a position where their Social Security income will now be tax-free by making some subtle changes to where they're saving their money and how they're doing it. And again, that's part of the process that we educate through CalChoice Financial. So their 401k distributions were going to be taxed when they retired. And once we put a plan together for them, we actually showed them how they can take their distributions from their 401k and not pay tax on them. And again, that is strategy that most people don't even know, and chances are really good that your financial advisors probably never even talked to you about it. So when we looked at the math and we projected out about where the balances would be in their accounts, and then we looked at the income need that they would have adjusted for inflation 22 years from now, interestingly enough, they would actually run out of money in about 12 years. And after we put a plan together for them, we were able to put them on a path where they would very unlikely ever run out of money. And so again, it's very exciting what we do. So they needed $1,250 more out of their budget every single month in order to make up the shortfall that they were facing prior to meeting us. Now, as a result of our plan, they only needed to find about $100 out of their monthly budget in order to hit their financial goals. Now, if you're looking at 1,250 versus 100, which one would be easier to come out of your budget? Of course, we would all choose the $100, right? So what is the summary? Prior to meeting them, they were facing the possibility that they would have to radically reduce their lifestyle. As a result of our plan, they'll be able to maintain their lifestyle, which we submit. Most people, that's what they want to do. They don't want to reduce their lifestyle. They don't want to cut it in half or 40% or whatever it is. They just want to live the life that they're living today. So that's exciting. The other thing is they were probably going to end up having to work longer than they anticipated. We've met plenty of clients in our public seminars that had to work 5, 7, 10 years longer than anticipated because of market losses. Now, by the way, this most recent market correction over this last several months has added 3, 4, 7, maybe even longer number of years to people's working years to save money. We don't even know the impact yet because the math hasn't played itself out. So as a result of our plan, this couple will now be on track for their retirement. The other thing too is this family was not protected against premature death or living too long, which is becoming an increasing challenge. We're now outliving our money. And as a result of our plan, they're now protected in case they die too soon or in case they live too long. And the other thing that's critical is prior to us helping this couple, their beneficiaries would be left with a huge tax burden. And as a result of what we were able to put together for them, they will no longer have a tax burden if anything happens to them. So this is what we do. It's amazing. No one does what we do. We say this all the time. And we're really proud of the education that we're bringing to the American family.
Well, and that's one thing we strive as a company is our goal is to have the most highly trained financial professionals in the industry. Charlie calls it a black belt of financial planning. You've also referenced the Michael Jordan of financial planning. And guys, we don't care where you came from. You can learn this. You will always be partnered with a mentor to help you through this. But I want to pivot now here really quickly because this is an exciting thing, and I'm going to have the land banking master kind of go through these next 2 slides. Theo kind of came out of nowhere with our company and put up some really, really big numbers. But Theo, just really quickly touch on these next 2 slides. What is our land banking strategy, and why might someone want to come on board and be able to refer that and make money?
Well, first of all, everybody understands how land works, right? In real estate. Basically, what you do is you buy property at this price, you sell for a higher price, then you make money, correct? It's not hard to understand. So for people to be able to offer this to their clients and diversify their portfolio that's non-correlated to the market, to the stock market, it gives them a better diversification of their portfolio that's not affected when the market does tank, like what happened in the last couple of months. You guys agree? Where people are losing 30% of their assets, but the land wasn't really affected. Right. So the way CalChoice does it, I mean, what this slide tells us about is they did a study over a 17-year period of 9,000 properties that was sold, bought, and sold again. And what happened was we found out that the results were like the average appreciation was 24% per year. Where are you going to find that, right? And also the average hold period was 3.7 years. And so as a person that wants to invest in something that's not related to the market, this is a great opportunity to do so. And our company, what we do is we have a whole team that actually researches these properties where we're in a situation where it's predictable growth. Because you don't want to buy property in the middle of nowhere that's going to take 100 years to sell, right? Nobody wants to wait that long unless you're a vampire or something, you live forever. That's the only way. But with our company, we do this research that we know that it's going to be in a path of growth. And so when you realize that you have a team behind you, that you're going to sell this property that you know is going to be sold, how better is it for your clients, right?
So a new person can come to work with CalChoice Financial, own their business day one, not have any experience in real estate, not have any experience in sales, not have to do any research on the land, and has an entire team behind them to help their referrals understand how this process works and get paid?
Yep. For example, I have all my licenses. I mean, I'm an investment advisor. I'm a 65, 26, all this different licenses. And majority of my income came from land last year. That doesn't require a license, right?
That's fun.
Crazy, crazy stuff. Now, this talks about the last 17 years. People want to know what's happened more recently. Address this slide here really quickly.
Yeah, so pretty much one of our clients in land, they bought three parcels last year, and they got their assessment recently. One of them, was a 35% growth year over year. Another one's 58%. Another one's 60%. That's 1 year growth. So it blows me away how you can have that much growth in something that is actually not in the stock market, right? Right, Charlie?
Exactly. Take a little piece of somebody's portfolio and put it here, and you change the entire retirement game.
And you don't need a license or any background or experience to do it. That's what blew me away when I was introduced to CalChoice. Well, actually, I saw this company back in 2012, but I was engaged with another company at that time doing some consulting for them at the corporate level. But when I got fully engaged with CalChoice back in 2017, I'm like, this is amazing. And we do have people that literally that's all they do is refer land. So if that could be something that could just add really kind of another income stream to you. So let's wrap this up. We just got a couple minutes left here. Some income opportunity streams that we have with CalChoice Financial is number one, become a referral partner. Don't have to really learn anything to refer people. Just have to be a little bit excited about what we do, and we'll spend some time with you, maybe look at your personal plan and see some areas that we can improve with you. Maybe you're somebody that loves what you do. You just want to add some additional income streams to it, to maybe your current business. That's great. Land banking finder's fee income, we just talked about that. Differentiates yourself from the competition. We actually are giving company stock grants away. That's pretty awesome if you think about it. How would you like to been with Microsoft or Google or Apple when you could get pre-IPO stock with those companies? We saw millionaires made with very little money put in. So we give company stock grants away. We have a 3 to 5 year game plan to go public. Everybody that does business with us, that's a representative with us, earns company stock. Maybe it's time for a career change for you. You want to own your own business. Maybe you're a team builder, right? And you want to create this massive passive income that you can pass on to your family. And you definitely want something that's inflation proof and recession proof. So here's the next steps, guys. Become a referral partner. Complete a CalChoice online application. We'll get that over to you after you respond back to us that you're interested. Get your personal household in order. That's only going to help you when you're talking to other people about what we do. Our minimum land banking finder's fee is $1,600. It goes up from there. And if you became a referral partner on a part-time basis on the financial side, you're going to average $875 and more just for referring people and having somebody that actually knows everything about the business go and help them. So a lot of people join us as a referral partner. Others are more interested in just having a six-figure consistent income. So follow our system and our six-figure plan. You can earn multiple six figures just learning how to work with clients. I mean, my goodness, Charlie Jewett made over $400,000 his first year in financial services, and he didn't even have a team, right? It was just him mentoring with somebody else and learning and getting better. Others of you, however, are looking at something more significant, and you would like to know if there's something out there for a seven-figure income plan. Well, become a mentor to other agents and help them do this up here. That will earn passive income for life from your agency. So guys, what we would encourage you to do is take this information that you've gotten today and just send an email that you're interested in the next steps, and we'll have somebody that'll reach out to you within a couple hours, and we'll set an appointment with you one-on-one, have to be via webinar, and just do a quick interview with you, make sure you qualify for everything that we've presented today, and get it going. Next 24 to 48 hours are crucial to your success. Get started today. Anything further to add, you guys?
We're excited to have you join us.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
See you.